And hello and good morning, or good afternoon, or good evening, or wherever you are in the world. I'm very happy to see you. Today is a very enlivened and interesting day. We have a lot to get to. This is day 4 of our live stream. Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, 4. Last Friday doesn't really count. It was a technical experiment, but tomorrow will be our first 5-day streak. Looking forward to it. We have a lot going on today. Jana Marie is not here and not really available to be on the live stream today, but we are working very hard to get Jana Marie, hello baby, into our live chat because Twitch and YouTube streaming, unfortunately no more Facebook, which I'll repeat what happened yesterday. We're going to see if Jana Marie can chat with us where she is in her secret place that cannot be revealed. So it's going to be a little strange because I'm going to be typing to her in chat, and we're going to see if she can type back. Now, last time, a couple of days ago, when our new friend Birdie was with us, she was in chat, and I was responding to her by typing, and she said, I can hear you, you don't have to type. And I explained, well, that's very true. That's a good point. But we do have some deaf viewers, and closed captions are not readily or easily available in the way that we are broadcasting. So I have to type back a little bit. So, it doesn't look like, but my SMS is this way, so I'm going to be rude and turn my head. Jana Marie cannot find the Twitch app on her phone. I'm telling her to look for the Twitch logo on her phone. She wants me to send her a link. So I sent her the link, and I'm hoping that if she opens the SMS, she'll click that and then the app will open. I don't know. It's part of the fun of being live and not really having a plan at the very last second. We'll see if Jana Marie joins us. So today we're going to talk about merchandise, selling, branding, logoing. We're going to talk about skin cancer. We might play a little bit of really bad chess, although I do admit I'm living up to the topic of playing really bad chess. I would like to one day have a segment called Improving on Really Bad Chess, but so far this week, I don't think I've done anything right the first time, and not even the second time. But maybe that's the fun part of it. Then we're going to watch an interesting video that you may have seen at the very beginning, kind of a hint. My old mentor, Marshall Jameson, produced a very interesting little tidbit that I'll explain later in the show. And we can also talk about whatever you want to talk about. Q&A, as I understand, is a very important part of these live streams, and I'm very delighted to answer any question you have. And if you just want to chat about something. Is Jana Marie responding? No, she's not responding. She has read my message. Will she be here? I'm going to send a test chat just to see if she can find me. Jana Marie, can you read this? Over. Send. Oh, there it is. Jana Marie, can you read this? Over. Okay, we'll see if she can read it. And then the trick will be, if she can see this, will she figure out how to type back in chat? It sounds simple. A little complicated. I'm going to SMS her again and see what's going on. We're waiting for you. Now, if this doesn't happen, it's going to bother me all day, so we have to make this happen. And if anybody has any hints or clues, please let me know. Now, the reason we're not on Facebook, again, is because of... Oh! I see you! Jana Books. That's her username. Now, I made the font really big. And maybe it's too big because you can't really see it. Now, can I readjust this so it looks a little better? Is this chat? Chat box. Okay, chat box. Let me make the chat box bigger and see if that helps. Now, because Jana Marie is deaf, I can't really speak back to her. I have to type back to her. Maybe I should make the font a little smaller for chat. I made it big because I'm old and I can't see. Oh, trying to get in. Okay. Jana Love, you are in with us live. We can see everything you are typing. Yay, you! You did it! Trying to see if I can revise font settings, if I can make the font just a little bit smaller. Maybe so it's not quite so obnoxious. And then we can see more of Jana Marie. Oh my goodness, she sent me some kind of thing. What is that? Do that again. Send that image again. That's funny. I didn't even know we had these things. I'm new here, so I don't know what that is. I don't know who that is. But it looks like a man with a mustache. And I'm frightened a little bit. Send that image again, that's fine. Well, at least she's here. Isn't that wonderful? I could also ban her. I could ban Jana Marie. Testing, of course. Only for testing. I can time out Jana Marie, which I guess means putting her in a virtual corner where she can't say anything. I can also delete Jana Marie, which is actually more tempting than you'd think. And I can click to reply. Now maybe I've destroyed the chat. I don't know. Let me see if I can send this again. Are you there, Jana Marie? Are you there, JM? She goes by lots of names. There it is. Jana Books. Are you there, JM? Okay, that was a direct reply to her. Okay, that's interesting. That's new. We're beta testing, live and in concert, from the Omaha Civic Auditorium, which doesn't exist anymore, by the way. Well, Jana Marie's not responding. Oh! I can't find it, but I have the Utskingskat. Yes, I'm here. Oh, it's wonderful. Oh, wonderful. Should I try banning you? She might not know what that means. Okay. I do a chat poll on if we should ban you or not. But right now, you're the only vote. Now, I didn't reply directly to her, so maybe she doesn't know I'm speaking right to her. But she should know. Now, Jana Marie goes by many names. Names that I usually use in an event. Honey, baby, sweetheart, which she all accepts. From me only, though. Jana Marie. Jana. Jana Sweeney. My love. Baby Kitty. And on and on. Oh, we got another little emote here. Oh, it's so fun. You're having fun with emotes. I don't know. Others called emotes. I don't know. No, don't go yet. We need the viewers. Where are you, and what are you doing tomorrow with us? Doing Halloween signs tomorrow. Okay, that's fun. Fun. Everything you type goes right to our live chat. Thank you. She might be back, she might not be back. Oh! And I will share fun signs tomorrow at 10:15 a.m. Fabulous. I have to admit the chat is wearing me out, and I've only been doing this for 15 minutes. Oh, that's great. I'm going to see if I can reply directly to her again. That's fun. So people who do this live chat with people, great admiration. But I won't take a break yet because I must keep going. But it technically worked out. What fun. This is very thrilling. Big milestone for Jana Marie doing this remote stuff with Twitch. Now I wonder if there's a way that if she started where she is on Twitch, would she be able to join this live stream from her phone via Twitch? Because we've been using Zoom to get her in here for these lessons. But if we could do it natively with Twitch, but would it go out to everywhere? It might not work with Streamlabs. Only Twitch would see her, probably. Okay, well that was fun. So, the reason we are not on Facebook is because of the music you're hearing right now. We have a license from Monster Cat to stream this music legally with a license on YouTube and Twitch. And I wrongly thought that that license included all streaming services until I discovered that it doesn't mean that. We're only authorized to stream this music, which is very lovely and important and puts a nice tone to the show. Oh, she's back. That's what I'm trying to do. I was hoping to join you via video. Oh. Not sure if we can do that or not. Maybe others watching will let us know here or via Twitter. My account. At David Boles. Okay. So we had to stop this live stream from also going to Facebook because of these music issues. It's very disappointing. We have a lot of deaf friends on Facebook, Facebook auto captions all videos if you want them to. So does YouTube. Twitch does not auto caption anything. You can try to figure out a way to pay someone to caption your show on Twitch. But Twitch does try to have it both ways, where they will caption some of their official Twitch broadcasts, but not all people who stream on Twitch get captioned, which I find disappointing because Twitch is now owned by Amazon, and Amazon has more money in the world than anybody else. So maybe it's coming if enough people protest or enough people are concerned. So I wonder if Streamlabs, oh, now that's interesting. I know Streamlabs OBS has an app. I wonder if there's a way to bring her in from her phone on the Streamlabs app. Instead of using Zoom. I don't know the answer, but I feel like I'm going to find out today. I'll ask Streamlabs. They're very responsive and they're very helpful. Speaking of Streamlabs, see the shirt? Yesterday I showed you this shirt. It's a free shirt from Streamlabs. It was going to have a little logo right here is what I thought I was getting. That's what I ordered. And they sent me this free shirt instead, which is a big cartoon with Streamlabs right in front. It's a nice quality shirt. Not complaining. I like free things. So we have a merch store that is new and exciting for us. bolesbooks.org. You type that in. That's our landing page. Created via Streamlabs OBS. And you can leave a tip there. And up at the right corner, we should go to the page. What am I doing? I don't have to talk all the time. I can show and be quiet a little bit. Oh, that's not the right one. Humanbeing.com. Okay, so the store is here. Okay, so this is our donation page. It's also our merch store. This is the landing page, which is the main page, bolesbooks.org. Bolesbooks.com goes to our publishing website. This is our streaming website that we set up with Streamlabs. And you can see it's very attractive looking. Now, I thought our live stream was supposed to be right here in this box, but it's not. I don't know why. So, up at the top, right-hand corner, there's Donate. Click on Donate. It's like the same page you just saw, but they have two places where you can donate to the stream to help us find more people and find things to do. Then you click on Merch. And you can purchase branded things. The DB logo for Boles.com, BolesBells.com. You can see the incredible Jana Marie screaming, which she often does. You can see the Jana Marie cup. Lots of fun things. And, there are a lot of companies out there that create this branded merchandise. And in my experience, some of these companies are fantastic. And some of these companies are not so great. It's the quality of the material and the quality of the printing, for me, that makes all the difference. So we ordered a couple of things just to see what we might get back, so we can hopefully get behind this and make neat things. And it arrived yesterday. And I'm going to show you what we have. And I'll tell you right now, I'm impressed with the quality. This is a Gildan long sleeve shirt in pink with the DB logo for Jana Marie. Washed it yesterday, so it's a little wrinkled. I did not iron it. Do we iron cotton anymore? I don't think so. Jana Marie will be wearing this on a future live stream. I would prefer tomorrow, but I think she has plans for Halloween. So that's the long sleeve shirt, which is this. No, that's the hoodie. Never mind. It's hard to see. It's dark. Where's the long sleeve? Aha! This is that's what you just saw, but in pink. And then we have all kinds of colors. And it's printed on, but it's the good kind of print. The kind of print that you had from the 70s, not the stuff that you can't feel, not the rubber stuff that peels off. It's the good stuff. Now we're going to look at the bomber jacket. We have two bomber jackets. There's a DB bomber jacket, and there is... Well, maybe one of them is missing. Okay. Well, this is one bomber jacket. This is what it looks like. Ah, okay. Different logo, though. This is the bomber jacket. Champion brand, right? Good brand. Makes a difference. It really does. It's very thick. It's very heavy. It's very soft, made of cotton. Okay. See this? I love the colors. Nice knitted cuff. Beautiful pocket. Inside, outside. Champion. And here's what I really love. This is the bolesbells.com bomber jacket. And it's a little dark. But as you can see, it's a black kettlebell that says Boles Bells. And you can't really see it very good on this camera, but in person it looks very interesting. And it has sparkles on the kettlebell. It's designed by a Russian friend of mine. So the sparkles are not just white, as they are in the original artwork, but also some blue has been added. And I think that was a mistake in me setting up the shop, because I didn't understand about thread colors, but I like the effect. And as you can see on the backside, it is actually sewn in. It's embroidered. And funny, you can see it backward from the inside better than you can see it on the outside. But it snaps. It's very sweet. Slick. Bomber jacket. And the bomber jackets come in a wide variety of colors. We have that. We have this. We have this. We have that. It's very nice. Okay, next in the merch store. Oh, I have to go back. Navigate my own merch store. Okay, this is the sweatshirt. Gildan branded again, right? I like the blue. You're seeing black. I have the blue. Again, the DB logo. Blue and dark blue. Light blue. Blue. It's very heavyweight. Well made. Reminds me of what stuff I wore in the 70s when quality was there and assured and meant something to a young child. So the colors we have are black. We also have a light pink. The pink I think is very pretty, actually. We have that color blue. We have that color gray. We have the black. And we have the navy, which is what I have here. Navy, DB logo. I will be wearing this on stream. Just a couple of more. This, again, turned out better than I thought. Which sounds negative, but it's not. I'm very excited. See, we have this interesting long sleeve shirt. In that color, in this color, in this color, in this color, in this color. And that's the DB version. Now, here is the Boles Bells version. Gildan again. My color, blue, is my favorite color. And the Boles Bells logo is back. Now, what I really like about this, and I didn't know if this was going to come out in the print or not, but it came out in the print. You can see the sparkles that were designed into the logo. It's not just black, it's black with sparkles. And the sparkles are white, but the way it's printed, it looks like it's sparkles. I approve wholeheartedly. Gorgeous. I didn't know it would look that good. Again, just a reality check, not being negative. And finally, just because I couldn't resist it, Jen and I like to sometimes dress it as twins, and people in our building think it's funny. One of our friends said that's a life goal of hers, is to wear identical clothes. And we came to that realization 30 years ago with an optometrist I used to visit in New York City. And one day we were walking, Jen and I, and he was walking with his wife, and they both had giant green puffy coats. Exactly the same coat. Which sounds ridiculous when you describe it on a live stream, but in person it was the cutest, most adorable thing you've ever seen. And I remember commenting on it. You two are the cutest things you've ever seen. You have matching coats, you're twins. And they were shy and they thought it was kind of funny. And eventually over the years, when we would buy new things, oh, Jana Marie approves. Maybe I can sell her something. Thank you. Will you be buying more shirts? You look really good in pink. And so as you age and become stranger, you decide, well, if you're going to get a Nebraska jersey, maybe I should get a Nebraska jersey, and we'll both get the same Nebraska jersey, and we'll be twins. And it sounds just ridiculous, but when you go outside, yes, we do love being twins. So now we get kind of the same shoes, sometimes. The same coats, sometimes. Now she has a bomber jacket that says Boles Bells on it, and I have a bomber jacket that says, what does it say? DB. Oh yeah, DB. Oh, it's right here. I forgot to show it to you. Last thing, then we're done with this. This is my bomber jacket, same color. I love the color combination. Knit cuff. Now this is the DB logo, but just in one color. Remember how the Boles Bells logo was sewn in different colors? This is just one solid color, and I don't know why. I would like to have that sparkle like Boles Bells, but this is not sparkling. This is just like a gray. But it's a gray that matches this. At least online it does. And it's fully sewn in, as you can see in the back. High quality. Nice thread count. Very comfortable. I'll model it for you one day. It's too hot today. 75 degrees and sunny skies in Jersey City. Okay, beautiful. And it snaps. No zipping, which I actually like. Because zippers, you notice zippers today, they just break. They don't work. They go one way, then they don't go the other way. It doesn't matter if it's a high-branded zipper. It doesn't make any difference. It doesn't work. Zippers are out, buttons are in. Snaps are better. Buttons you have to sew on. Snaps, they just go in like a rivet. Okay. It should look good on the street. Okay. The camera goes one way and I go the other. Okay. There. Sweet. And everything I showed you today has been washed. Washed beautifully, nothing faded, nothing came apart. Sometimes when you buy things online and they're printed shirts and you wash them and dry them, the ink, if it's not properly set when they make it, it sticks together, and then you have to pull it apart and the whole shirt's ruined. That's happened to me a couple of times. Did not happen with bolesbooks.org merchandise. So now the temptation is, what else are we going to buy next? I love the hats. I love the tumblers. This is a throw blanket that sparkles, I guess. We have so many fun things. Oh, now this. When you're a child of the 70s, you can't resist anything that's tie-dye. That's just the way it goes. Now this is the DB logo again in that gray, which I don't really like, but I accept. And I would like to have it all over the front of to be the whole shirt. But it won't let me do that. It makes me put it in the corner. And nobody puts DB in the corner. Except the bolesbooks.org merch store. Okay, lots of colors, a lot of fun. I tried to design one with Jan Marie's screaming face in the corner, and it didn't look quite right. If she was screaming in the whole front of the shirt, it would be funnier. But up in the corner, you can't really see what it is. But that doesn't mean we won't keep trying. So you've had a wonderful tour of the bolesbooks.org merch store. And we thank you so much for playing. We're going to take a very brief break. I'll be back soon. And we're going to talk about skin cancer. From one extreme to the other. Back in a moment. All right, we are back live. Boles Books Live. Oh, Jana Marie wants a 70s shirt. I love it. Now, in a marriage, you're always testing each other by design and not on purpose. So I'm going to do a little test right now. Jan and I both teach at the university level, and we're going to call this a pop quiz. Are you paying attention? What have you learned? So I'm going to say, Jana Marie, are you still watching? And if she replies, then she has passed the test. And if she doesn't reply, she has also passed the test. Because that's what it means to be married. There is no failure in marriage. There is only doing it over and getting an A grade. Oh, she's not replying. I bet if I offered her a 70s shirt, she would. Oh! All right, as Jana Marie decides if she's going to respond or not, we'll go into our next step, which is health. Oh, that's right. Get me one today. Working on it. That's another thing about being married. You never say no. Of course, whatever you want. I'll get on it right away. Oh, that is the right answer. Now, if other people would like to join us in chat, please feel free. We are dominating the chat, but that's also a part of marriage. You're two against the rest of the world. And she could have been joining me in chat this whole week, instead of leaving me out here lonely. The blue or black? Okay. Okay, that sounds good. The merch store is going to be making a lot of money off of our own merch store. Which I suppose is good. Everything is a circle. Create a merch store. Buy things from the merch store. The merch store makes money and pays you a little bit of money. I guess it's better to support yourself as well as supporting others. Now, some have asked me privately, why do you need to take a break every 30 minutes? And I'll tell you why right now. And this does have a larger angle than what I'm just going to share. I do have high blood pressure, and I am 56 years old right now. And that is going to explain what this is on my cheek in just a moment. So, as part of combating my high blood pressure, I eat a very healthy diet, a vegan diet. I exercise every day. I use kettlebells. I walk everywhere. Everywhere I need to go, I walk. As much as possible. And because my blood pressure is intrinsic, which means it's the way that I'm piped, as one doctor said, I have to take a little bit of medication. And if you have friends or if you have high blood pressure and you know what the medication does is the medication tries to lower your beating heart and lower your blood pressure. And one way they do that, many doctors, is through a water pill, which flushes out all the extra fluids in your body so your heart does not have to work quite as hard in pumping the blood. So that medication makes me, on a pretty regular basis, need to go use the restroom every 20, every half hour, 45 minutes, maybe an hour. Because I drink a lot of water, because you're supposed to drink a lot of water when you're working on your blood pressure and you want to stay healthy. So it's kind of a vicious circle. Your medication makes you go to the bathroom. You're dehydrated a little bit because you just went to the bathroom, so you drink some water. And I think it's just a little bit ridiculous, but my cardiologists love having me on the water pill. I've had 3 different ones kind of all in the same office, and they all support the water pill. No one will take me off the water pill so I don't have to urinate quite so much. And maybe I should change our little banner. Instead of saying intermission, the intermission screen, maybe I should change the screen to say blood pressure, parenthesis, pee break. So people know what I'm doing and why I'm doing it. Because if I just say I'm taking a break, they think, oh, you've only been talking for 30 minutes. What's wrong with you? You need a break already? But when you tell them it's a medical reason, you kind of don't really have a choice because it's going to become very painful for your bladder in a moment, then they're okay with it. Oh, okay, it's medical. You have to urinate. Okay. So a couple of weeks ago, I was called for jury duty. And because the courts are semi-open, they're having courts now in Jersey City where the defendant is in the room and the prosecutor's in the room, the judge is in the room. But for voir dire, they do it virtually via Zoom. So you're sitting behind your screen for 8 hours waiting to see if you're going to be selected for a jury. And when it was my turn to speak, the judge asked a series of questions, and one of the questions on the voir dire sheet was, is there a medical reason why you would not be able to sit undisturbed for 2 hours? Now, I'm thinking there are not a lot of people that I know my age who would be able to sit still for 2 hours without having some public need to go to the bathroom or to eat something or to get up and walk around or to avoid a blood clot. But that was on the voir dire sheet. So I had that check that I needed to bring that up. But in real time, the judge said, well, let's don't say 2 hours, let's say an hour and a half. But really, it's the same thing for people my age, people on my medication. I cannot sit in one place for an hour and a half. It's not possible. So I raised my hand. And a lot of people trying to get out of jury duty. I have to take care of my mother. I'm not feeling well. Denied. Not an excuse. Can't do it. The people who got immediately excused were people who owned their own business and were the sole employee. Instant, go away. People who had COVID, instant go away, but you had to have proof. And even if you tried to get out of not going to jury duty before you showed up, they made you show up anyway, and then they would say, get out. So when it came to my time, I said, look, I'm very happy to serve, Judge. However, I have a medical condition with my blood pressure that I can maybe sit for half an hour, and then I have to excuse myself and go to the bathroom. And I wanted to say, but if you wanted me to, I could bring a blanket and I could pee very quietly into a bottle in the jury box, and no one would see me. I'd be very discreet if it was that important. I'm, of course, joking. But before I could make the joke, the judge said, dismissed. Go. An instant out. And I wasn't making it up because I would have had to leave every 30 minutes in the trial. I guess that was not acceptable to him, and I understand it. So I got sent back in the jury pool. You wait another 3 hours sitting there waiting for your name to be called. Finally, they said, come back in 3 years. So it's always difficult when you're at an age on medication. You kind of have to plan your day, and on public transportation, it sort of takes you half an hour, 45 minutes to get anywhere you're going to go when you get on a train. And sometimes you get stuck on a train for an hour or an hour and a half. That is a painful experience. That is what empty bottles are for. That is what the distance between the cars is used for in an absolute emergency. Because what are you going to do? You're not going to pee on yourself. You're not going to pee in the car. You've got to find a way to relieve yourself. And I've been lucky. I haven't had to pee on public transportation yet. And it's not on my bucket list, but I have a feeling it might be forced upon me. So that's why we take frequent breaks, and I have another one coming up in about 12 minutes. But before that, we're going to discuss skin cancer. I went to the dermatologist yesterday, and I go every month for blue light therapy. It's where I sit in a quiet room for 8 minutes at a time, and this big bank of blue, looks like blue fluorescent lights, but a special kind of light wave, curves around me, and I sit there, and it's almost like a suntanning bed is what it feels like, but it's just focused on my face. And my doctor believes that blue light therapy can stop, not necessarily heal, but can stop future growths and incidences of skin cancer, even if they're starting to bubble right now. Now, I don't know if any of that's true. I'm not a doctor, but that's what I do every month. So I go in for a checkup. He checks. A couple of years ago, I had an incident with something on my neck, and it had been there for a long time. And I'd always put lotion on it or some kind of cream, and it always sort of hurt. And one day, my lovely Jana Marie and I were out walking. It's a bright, sunny day. And she looked at my neck and said, "You have a hole in your neck." And I said, "I think you mean I have a hole in my head," which I do agree with and I am very well aware of because you remind me of it daily. She said, "Yes, you do have a hole in your head, but now you also have a hole in your neck." And I said, "What hole in my neck? You mean this thing?" She said, "Yeah, it's a hole. It's a divot. You have a hole in your neck." So we finished our walk. I went home. I because it was back here, you really can't, there's no angle you can use in a mirror where you can see what's going on. Even if you have a little hand mirror looking at you, you can't see that you have a hole. It looks like a little wound. You can't see it has depth. That's why you kind of need someone else. But the good thing about having marriage, you have skin cancer, they'll help you out until you got a hole in your neck. So I went to the doctor. He looked at it immediately and was very negative. He said, "That does not look good. That looks like skin cancer. And don't worry about it because we're catching it early, even though you've had it for a long time." So he numbed me up with a shot, scraped it out, sent it off for a biopsy. Then my doctor, who's older, likes to burn. So he burned my neck. And I went back and he burned it again. I went back, he burned it again because he wanted to make sure that it was all out and gone because it had come back positive for skin cancer. So that was a couple of years ago. And since that, I've had about 4 more surgeries. Is that what you call it? Where I guess surgical is when your skin is cut. If you're cut into, it's considered surgery. On little spots of skin cancer on this side of my face. And it's very strange because I'm thinking, what is going on with this side of my face having these spots of skin cancer? There's one here, one here. Some of them, the scars come back and they're white when they're all healed. So I have spots of white, which my doctor loves because he says, "I know what it is. Any dermatologist will know what it is. It's a scar, probably from skin cancer." Now, I know some doctors would cut it out, sew it up, which is what I would prefer. But this doctor that I have, who has served me very well, prefers to burn it. And that's what the burning, I guess, is what causes the white scar. So I asked my doctor, what is going on with all of this on the side of my face? And he said, "Well, I don't know, but the skin damage that was done to you was done 40 years ago. So you have to go back in time and try to remember where you were as a teenager, a kid growing up in the Midwest, the Nebraska sun, which is very harsh and very vicious. And you have to wonder, how did I get skin cancer? Well, back then we really did not use sun screen. We used suntan lotion. The idea was to get color and to get burned. And we would use baby oil. I didn't use baby oil, but a lot of people I know would use baby oil to magnify the effects of the sun to get a deeper and darker tan. I never really liked the sun very much because my skin is very fair and I burn very easily. But sometimes you gotta get a little vitamin D and you gotta go out and play. And you can see my skin is very shiny, very greasy. All of my life it's been greasy. And some people say, oh, that greasy face you had when you were younger as a teen. Now that you're old and 56, you look young because you have a greasy face. You're not all dry and wrinkled. Having a greasy face on a live stream is not helpful because the lights bounce, burn. That's what it calls, burns, tears, the video term, because it's too bright. So what I should do is wear a little bit of makeup. I would look better. So, as you try to figure out what happened with the skin cancer on one side of your face, and I read something maybe a year ago that explained it to me very clearly, especially people who live in the Midwest. When you have a car and it is hot outside, but you don't want to turn on your air conditioning, you roll down the window. You put your arm out, and the sun that is not being blocked by the UV protection of the glass in your car that they have now, but back then they didn't have a lot of it. The sun is coming right through you, hours at a time, day after day, through the window on your car, but there's no window because it's rolled down. So it's getting your arm, right? You've seen those kind of tans, trucker tans, they call them, on one arm, and the sun hitting one side of your face. So this side is inside the car, driving, right? And this side, window rolled down, sun coming in, hitting your face, burning your face, burning your face, burning your face, causing skin cancer that shows up 40 years later. So that to me explains all of these scars that I have on my face. But this one, and I also had something about a month ago on my eyelid on this side of my face. So now this side of my face is starting to misbehave. This side is misbehaving because of 40 years of sun damage from driving a car 40 years ago. This side of my face is now starting to misbehave as well. And I have a feeling it's taking a clue from this side of my face. So I had a little something right on my eyelid that the doctor cut off. Not even a scratch. He said, your eye might go black and blue. It did not. It was beautiful. And so yesterday, he shot me up on this. I have a little blood vessel that's burst right here. See that shine? That's greasiness. And this, he didn't like the look of. So he shot me up with Novocaine, which really worked well. And it's right on my jaw, so he's pushing on my jaw. And he was digging something out, which I guess was the biopsy. He dug that out, put that whole thing. And then comes the burning. And if you've never smelled your own flesh burning in a doctor's office, it's not something you forget very easily. So he burned, put the thing back. It's a little wire that's attached to another wire. And he wasn't satisfied. He looked at it, came back, burn a little more. Because the thing that was on my face, as I told him, was the size and shape of the state of Florida. So it kind of goes down and then hooks this way. So I think he realized, because I reminded him of it gently, that he missed that little hook of Florida. So what are you going to do? You have skin cancer. Are you a cancer survivor? I don't think I am one. I don't think I feel like one. But I guess I am. So how do you take care of your skin? Well, I have a skincare regimen that I'm going to share with you right now that I use every single day, and because we are twins, because we're married, Jana Marie uses the same system. It makes us very beautiful and very helpful, and probably makes me look a little greasier than I should, but it's okay. And my skin doctor compliments me on the beauty of my skin. And he thinks it's because of the blue light special that he puts on my face every month. And that might be true, because he says it does improve the color and look of your skin. However, he only started complimenting me on my skin beauty when I started this regimen. And I'm going to show it to you now. I'm not selling you anything. I have not been paid to talk about this. I've not been sent free stuff to talk about this. This is me talking to you. You decide what you want to do. So after the hole in my neck, I decided I needed to find a way to take care of my skin. And the over-the-counter stuff, the mainstream stuff you buy in the drugstore wasn't really working. But this stuff works. And it's a brand called The Ordinary. And it all starts, there are 4 steps that I use. You can have lots of steps. And if you go to The Ordinary website, you can fill out a little survey saying what kind of skin you have, what your problems are. Do you like an oily kind of application? Do you like a gel-like application? Do you prefer a watery-like application? Do you prefer a creamy-like application? So you can pick. I don't like creamy things. I don't like oily things. I'm oily enough. I like watery things, and I like gel things. So this is the first thing that I do, which is the Squalane Cleanser from The Ordinary. So we use this just to wash our face twice a day, morning and evening. It works very well. None of this has any kind of smell. Okay, so that's first. So you wash your face. Face dry. Next, this is relatively new, and when I started using this is when I got the compliment about my beautiful skin from my dermatologist. This is The Ordinary Buffet. If you use the buffet is usually clear, but this buffet is the special new buffet. And I wrote it down, copper peptides 1%. Okay, copper peptides 1%, The Ordinary. It's not focusing, is it? Oh, there it is. Okay, good. And what I love most about this is, it is my favorite color, which is blue. Okay? So I take one of these, squirt it in my hand, right? Squirt it in my hand. Yeah, I'll show you right now. Take this, squirt it in my hand, like that, yeah? Okay. Dab, one finger, right? Yeah? Just like this, all over. I don't, it's a little dab. I don't, like wash my hands with it and then put it on my face. And I know that your face is not, your neck is not considered part of your face, but I do put it on my neck anyway. I'm sure that wastes product, but it feels good. And then I do this, yeah, all around. Get the ugly bags under your eyes, yeah, okay. And this, the copper peptides tends to take a little while to dry. And it is gel-like, but it takes a while to dry. So then I would wash my hands. Now I have to wait for this to dry before I put on the next thing. And this has no smell. Now, I have the kind of skin that if you touch it, it becomes red. But I also have very tough skin that I don't cut very easily, and I really don't ever bruise ever at all. So explain that. Skin, touch, red. Oh my gosh, you have such sensitive skin. But I can, cut myself and not really bleed, and it just heals on its own. So as my copper peptides are drying, I now have a new thing that I add, And this is new. Remember, I went and filled out every time I run out of product, I go back to the website and I fill out a new survey because they always have new products coming out. And this was the new product they decided that I should have. And their recommendations are usually very limited for me. They don't try to send you 1,000 things. This is not an MLM. It's not a pyramid scheme. You decide what you want to buy and when you want to buy it. And a lot of times they're out of product. But I was very lucky because this they had in stock and they recommended it to me. This is niacinamide 10% plus zinc 1%. I really have no idea what this means or what it does, but I trust The Ordinary inherently because I have skin cancer and because they make my skin feel better. Now, in the little bit of research I did do before this live stream, it seems that what this does is it takes the shine off, it clears your pores, and if you have like a breakout, it takes care of it for you. Now, if you're used to using the buffet, this looks exactly like the buffet, but I guess it has the zinc and the niacinamides inside. So see, this is very clear. It is gel-like again. I just pop one little thing in there. Okay, did you see that? Very goopy, but not in a bad way. Can't even see it. See? Skin is so white it's burning under. Putting it on my burn. Burning under the lights. Again, I like doing it this way because it absolutely directs the product where I want the product to go. Now I'm making my stuff really shiny, but that's okay. When I take my next pee break, I'll pat myself down. Okay, it's getting better. This is very cooling. And this, unlike the copper, this one dries really super fast. And it really does feel good. You can see my face getting redder and redder when I do this, don't you? Sensitive skin. Now, as this dries, then we get ready for our final step. 4 steps, very simple. So the two things that are serious are the copper thing, the blue thing, and the thing I just put on, which is the niacinamide with zinc. We had the cleanser, right? And then we finish it off with the natural moisturizing factors plus HA. Again, I have no idea what this means, but I accept it because it's very soothing and it feels very wonderful. So this is already dried. So take a little of this. I don't use a lot. I just use a little tiny bit. Okay. Put it in my palm again. This is how you do it. You don't put it and then put on. You do it like that. Then like this. This is what I do. I also have a thing on my ear. So I put this on my ear as well because I have a little dry patch on my ear. Now I could just leave this for the rest of the show. It'll probably be dry or maybe stay and crack, but I won't. I'm going to rub it in. So I now have 3 layers of stuff on my face. Feeling very good. Fighting my skin cancer. And if I were to go outside, I would put my sunscreen on. And I didn't bring my sunscreen because Ordinary does not make a sunscreen. It does not have a tint. So on the next break, I'll bring my sunscreen and show you what I use. Because you want to have a sunscreen that is not oily and that dries flat without drying white and chalky. And white and chalky is my street name, by the way. So that's it. So I feel a little bit greasy, but I feel very revitalized. The Ordinary, can't miss. Feels good. I don't want to say get some today because I have no vested interest in if it sells or not. But it does feel very good. It's that time. Time for a blood pressure pee break. And then we'll be back. We'll talk about some writing, and I'll show you my favorite sunscreen. Back in a moment. All right, we are back live. I'm back from the pee break. I feel so much better. Such a relief. And I have to say, it's sort of a gift to myself that every 30 minutes I get such relief. I feel so good just by relieving myself of the extra fluid burden of my blood pressure medication. Now, a couple of things. Oh, Jana Books. I missed that. Hi, Jana. Yes, it feels good. Now, I was going to go wipe all of this off my face because I don't want to look too greasy on camera, too shiny. Very shiny today. But I couldn't do it. I went to the bathroom, I turned on the water, I tried to do it, and I said, I can't do it. Why? Because my face is tingling, because I have copper peptides, and because I don't want to waste the product. Even though the Ordinary is very, very inexpensive. Some of it's a little expensive. The copper one, I think, is like $28. But the cleaner, the buffet, if you just go for the general buffet, it's very, very affordable. Shockingly affordable, especially if you buy the higher-end stuff. Okay. Thanks for letting us know. Take care. So the Ordinary is, and the reason I didn't do the cleanser is, demonstrate the cleanser, is because it looks exactly like the moisturizing lotion, but I didn't have a towel and I didn't have a sink on the live stream. That requires water. And it's not even a cleanser that soaps up. It's just you put it on your face, it feels kind of greasy, you rub it in, you put some water on it, you wash it off and you're done. It's a very simple kind of cleanser. I really like it. Now, we get into a little more detail and expense when it comes to sunscreen. Now, my dermatologist says every time I see him, you're wearing sunscreen, right? When you go outside for these walks you do you're wearing sunscreen. And I admit to you that I don't say to him, I don't always wear my sunscreen. I'm supposed to wear it on my arms, on any exposed part of my body, so in, if I'm lucky enough, another 40 years, I don't have a whole new set of skin cancer coming to attack me. But because I am a man, because I am from the Midwest, and I am very highly educated and yet very stupid, I don't always heed the warnings of my doctors. Or my wife. If she knew, and she probably does know, I don't always wear my sunscreen when I go outside. Because I go out very briefly for a 20-minute walk. That can't hurt, right? But when I do go outside, and sometimes we go outside for long periods of time, where you know you're not coming back in 20 minutes to go to the bathroom. And this is what I use on my face. It's the Anthelios brand. Started in France, very popular. Then it came to America, and it was not as effective as it was in France. And people didn't understand why. And then people did some research and figured out there was a special ingredient in the French version that really protects your skin that was not allowed by the FDA in America. So the really rich people, when they would go and travel Europe, they would buy all the Anthelios stuff they could and bring it home because it was the original and the best. And they didn't want the American version. So I don't like a greasy feeling on my face. I need to be protected from the sun. I know that any SPF over 30 is a waste. Now they're not going to, the industry wants you to wear 200 SPF because they can make more money off of it. But in my experience with my doctors, 30 is fine. But it's very hard to find a 30 of anything in an SPF today. So the ones I have here are 50, which is the lowest I could find. So this is what I put on my face. It's a little bit creamy. It's not too greasy. It sort of dries flat. It's in a very small bottle and doesn't last very long. But it does not leave a white, creamy residue. this is what it looks like. So not focusing as well, I think because it's printed on glass, so the camera doesn't know what's real and what isn't real. So that goes on my face. Just my face. A beautiful face. Then here is the one that I use on the rest of my body, my legs if I have shorts on, my arms if they're exposed, because this is cheaper, it's in a bigger bottle, and this does make you look like a ghost. It comes very thick, heavy, white. It even dries a bit white, which is not a great look for your face, but I guess on your arms nobody cares. It protects you. Get some sun. You can see that better because it's printed on plastic and not on glass. So that's my skincare lesson for the day. I hope you take care of yours. Stay out of the sun. As my original dermatologist told me when I first moved to New York, you, and he pointed at me like that, you, there is nothing good under the sun for you. Stay out of the sun. So I do have a big floppy sun hat that I never wear. Don't tell my wife. And you're supposed to go out with long sleeves on. Don't ever get any sun. You know, if you have your hand exposed to get vitamin D for 15 minutes, that's fine. During the lockdown of the pandemic, where nobody was really going outside because we didn't know where this coronavirus was coming from, I would put my hand, I would stick it out the window. Because our windows have UV protection. I would stick my hand out the window for 15 minutes a day. 7.5 minutes on this hand, 7.5 minutes on this hand. And I would let the sun soak into my beautiful hand to give me vitamin D and healing. No sunscreen involved. And I think it worked pretty well. That's what I'm told anyway. 20 minutes, a little patch of skin, it's enough for the vitamin D. And vitamin D helps you fight coronavirus. So I'll take all the help I can get. All right, so we've been a little heavy. Now it's time to go a little bit light. And I'm torn because I know what I have to do, and I don't want to do it because it's going to be light for you, and it's not going to be light for me. It's going to be very heavy. Because it's that time again, my friends. Just for a little bit. Really bad chess with David Boles. Live and on stream. Now, I admit I wish I were a little bit better at chess. I have been away from the game for 44 years. I am now back with a vengeance. And while I want vengeance to be mine, vengeance is always on the side of the other side. Because I'm very terrible. But that's how we learn, right? So today we've gone back to our favorite Chessable, where I am known on Chessable as Boles, which I think is just a darling take on that name. And we're going to work on more deadly checkmates. Oh boy, I didn't do well last time. Now these are really fun. However, unlike the Chess.com puzzle of the day, these are timed. So I'm under intense pressure to perform, which makes me make mistakes in front of you and the world. Oh boy, this one, oh, here we go. Solve in 4. So what does that mean? That means I have to move my pieces 4 times in order to solve this puzzle. And that means my opponent has to solve the computer. The opponent has to solve also in 4. So that means we're going to be making 8 moves altogether, which I honestly tell you is a lot of moves. And some of these training sessions with Chessable, where you're dealing with the GMs and they're teaching you new ways of thinking. Some of these lines you have to memorize are like 14, 15 moves. I said, how can I remember that? I can't remember 4 moves in Deadly Checkmate. How can I memorize 15 moves in a row? Well, the answer is, you get it wrong. And it destroys your day and ruins your ego. So, on Chessable, when you're on this side of the screen, you're playing the white pieces. So that's a clue you have to remember. When you're on this side of the screen, you are playing the black pieces. So I have to solve something in 4. And the idea again is still back rank mates. So that usually means your rook is going to be involved in solving the puzzle in some way. I have a notification. I always have to click. I can't stand not to. Okay. They have a new course. So, I am delaying because the minute I click on solve 4, the timer is going to begin and I'm going to be under a lot of pressure. And I don't know exactly what to do. But we're going to do it together because we're playing really bad chess. Okay, so what about so white to play? Oh boy, and I got 4 moves, so I gotta think. Okay, white to play, that's me, white. Okay, and they love queen sacrifices, they're just crazy about that. So that's the first thing I have to look at. Can this queen go here? Yes, but why? Oh, that's why, because the rook would protect her. Oh, they love a queen in danger. But then that rook goes up. I could go this way, and then this rook would take, and then this queen could go down. Yeah, well, no, that doesn't really work either. Oh, and I'm running out of time. I never want to say I don't know because that's called giving in. So I have to make an educated guess, and I know they love a queen sack. So I'm going to do that. Holding thumbs. Oh! It was the right answer. Rename this series from Really Bad Chess to Almost Good Enough. No, my timer's still going. I have 3 more moves to make. Okay, so I go down here with my rook, put the king in check. But then this is going to go back. I'm running out of time. Now I could go here, here, and here. No, then... No. That's a bad idea. I have this. Bishop. Ah. Oh, now that would be interesting. To pin... But this is like what I consider a pre-move. And these puzzles don't like you to make kind of pre-moves. They'd like you to be very active. So my sense is I have to go here to put the king in check because that's what they want. I'm running out of time. That's 2 in a row. I think all week we haven't done anything right twice. And my timer's still running. Okay, so, all right, so, okay, now what? Ah, okay, this now. Okay, so this rook's going to take that rook. However, if I put this bishop here, it puts the king in check. Oh, that's nasty. So they can't. So this rook can't take this rook because this king has to move out of the way. And there's only one place the king can move is that way. And the rook can't move up this way because the king will be in check. Oh, it's going to be a good chess day. I can feel it. And I normally would want to retire for the rest of the day when I get this right. So this is the right answer. Believe me. 3 in a row. It's the small victories. Now, my clock is running. And I'm okay with that because I know exactly what to do. My rook, this rook is going to go here, take that rook. And the king is checkmated. And I will have won the game. And I am no longer playing really bad chess. Now I hope I don't mouse slip or do a right click when I mean a left click. I wouldn't put it past me. I've made more dangerous moves than that in the last 36 hours. Let's go for the gold! Hi-ya! Whoa! Baby! It only took me 4 days to solve a puzzle without making one mistake. Now the question is, do I push my luck and go to chess.com and try to win playing the puzzle of the day, which I never have and never do. It's much harder. So in this session, I learned 4 new moves. Yes, I did. My accuracy was 100%. It only took me 3 minutes and 33 seconds to solve the puzzle. My XP, 120 stars. It's a good day in the old bolesbooks.org universe. Now do I do another puzzle and push my luck? Of course! That's why I'm here. And the timer is ticking. I am now black. Black to play. Oh, okay. Now I may have pressed my luck too far. Okay, so we're looking for, they want me to check the king. They want me to lose my queen. So I really can't go here to put the king in check because the white queen will take me. If I go here and take the rook, the king is in check. And the rook will take me. Oh, I may have pushed my luck too far. Now I'm getting a little stuck. They do like a queen sacrifice, though, so I have a feeling that's what I'm going to have to do. See? Okay, so my instinct was right, the move was wrong, which is nothing new with me. See, if I try to go here, and that queen's going to take me. So I go here, and the king is still in check. However, that bishop's going to take my queen. But there's a higher madness to it, one that I'm not understanding. But I'm at a point in my life where I don't have a choice. So I have to click next, and then they're going to make me make that move, which I will do because I'm trying to learn and I'll go along. So I move this. Ha! Okay. Ah! Now I don't understand why the king moved. I don't understand why this bishop did not take my queen. I don't know why the king moved over. Now this rook can go down here and take this rook, put the king in check again, and the king, well, can't really move because the king moves here. My pawn puts the king in check. What can take? What can take is the bishop will take. So I think I have to take the bishop. I don't see a choice. Because if I move my rook there, this bishop's going to come down here and take my rook. So I'm running out of time. I should have stopped while I was ahead. Okay, so it's here, which puts the king in check, which they really love. And then the king. So see, my timer isn't running down because I got it wrong. So this is where I have all my time to figure out my next move without getting punished for it. So I go here. There's nothing that can get in the way, block my check. So that means the king's going to move there. Okay, so if the king moves there, then the queen moves here, protected by that pawn. But then the king can just move there, right? I don't think I understand it, but we'll just go with it. So it's going to force me to make this move that I made a mistake, so I learn. Okay, so now the clock is ticking, and I want to go here with my queen. This is what I would normally do on my own, put the king in check. But then the king will just go right here. And then what do? I have nothing to go down there. If I go down here, rook, king in check, then this bishop just takes. And I'm on a clock and I'm running out of time. My instinct is to play my queen, so I'm going to do the rook instead. See it? Sometimes the instinct is right and often it's wrong. So, you're going to make me make the move that I should have made. And the king goes there, and then what happens? Then what happens? I don't know. The queen goes here. Check. King can't go there. King can't go there. Oh, that's what it is. Oh, I didn't think it out far enough. Well, you learn through defeat sometimes. Very simple move, very simple puzzle. Let's do it and get it over with. Take our punishment. Checkmate. Oh, 4 new moves, accuracy 25%. I've gone from 100% to 25%. Almost twice as long studying. XP gained. Only 120. Pitiful. And a little painful. One more. I have to get my mojo back. Okay. White to play. Okay, I gotta do this right. Okay, white to play, white to play, white to play, white to play. 3 moves. 3 moves. Oh, it looks complicated. Should have quit while I was behind. Well, if I go here, this will take. The queen protects. This rook also protects. This is a back rank mate, which usually means the rook is involved, so I think I'm going to go for the rook. Now this is, I told you, they like a queen sacrifice, and that's exactly what's going to happen, and I don't like a queen sacrifice. And that's why they make me do it, because they know I don't like it. So, queen goes here, puts the king in check, the queen gets taken, which just disturbs me. And then I guess it's got to be this, rook down to rook. Okay, and then this rook takes that bishop, right, and then the king can't move because the knight is covering. All right, 3 new moves, 66%, time studied, 1 minute, 30 seconds, XP gained 90. Okay, that's it. I'm done with that. Now it's time for a brief break, then we're going to come back and talk about dramatic writing. You know where I'm going, and you know I will be back. One moment. All right, we are back. Thank you for waiting. I also just want to mention that, remember our skincare conversation? The SPF stuff? I pay for all this too. Not sent for me for free, not advertising. I don't care if you buy it or not. I have no vested interest in anything I've shared with you today, except for our lovely logo merchandise, which I hope you will buy by going to bolesbooks.org/merch, M-E-R-C-H. Now we're going to go to a wonderful new video. Well, actually, it's an old video from a very good friend of mine. This man right here is Marshall Jameson. He is one of my favorite mentors. He is no longer living, but he's quite lovely. And he got his start in New York working on Mr. Roberts as an assistant to Joshua Logan, the Broadway play starring Henry Fonda. He was in the show. He was an assistant director on the show. He did a lot of work helping the producer Joshua Logan. Lived in White Plains. Then at the end of his career, he decided he'd had enough in New York and wanted to get out, and Ron Hull brought him to Nebraska ETV, where Marshall worked for about 20 years and was the producer of the Twain series for PBS, American Masters, did a lot of original television dramas on Nebraska ETV. I think it's called NET now, but it will always be NETV to me and for me. Nebraska ETV, Nebraska Educational Television. And Marshall gave me a lot of time. We wrote several scripts together. One of them was a story about William Jennings Bryan. Very interesting. Did not get produced. Things were changing at that time. Slowly but surely, the original dramas that a lot of these regional educational television networks were producing didn't happen anymore. Too expensive. Corporation for Public Broadcasting didn't have enough money to feed all of these individual stations across the country, which were pretty much dependent on that federal money in order to do things. So it kind of became just network affiliates, where the main station in New York, whatever, was the main thing, and then all these affiliates around the country, instead of creating their own programming, they would all just contribute and rebroadcast what was being broadcast from the main PBS station. But for a while, in the 70s and 80s, there was a rich opportunity to do some interesting original programming. And I'm going to show you one of them that Marshall Jameson wrote, produced, directed. It's one of the very first things he did when he arrived at Nebraska ETV from New York. And I don't want to say it was a vanity project, but in many ways it was. And I'll show you some other places to find Marshall Jameson when we're done with this. But this is called To Live is to Remember. It's a very brief, 8-minute little video short of a story that Marshall wrote about his childhood. And Marshall wrote a lot about his childhood, and I'm going to show you where I have published a lot of his early works. And he stars in this, he narrates it, and it's just a really wonderful story. And I'm going to share it with you now. I have to turn down my monster cat. And go back here with you so we can watch this lovely piece of art from Mr. Marshall Jameson.
And this is where we went, I thought. Now here, now there, upon the grass some 40 years ago. I had returned and walked along the streets and saw the house where I was born and grown and had my endless days. The days being short now, simply I had come to gaze and look and stare upon the thought of that once endless maze of afternoons. But most of all, I wished to find the places where I ran as dogs do run before or after boys. The paths put down by Indians or brothers wise and swift pretending at a tribe. I came to the ravine. I half slid down the path, a man with graying hair but seeming supple thoughts, and saw the place was empty. Fools, I thought. Oh, boys of this new year, why don't you know the abyss waits you here? Ravines are special, fine and lovely, green and secretive, and wandering with apes and thugs and bandit bees that steal from flowers to give to trees. Caves echo here, and creeks for wading after loot, a water strider, crayfish, precious stone, or long-lost rubber boot. It's a natural treasure house. So why the silent place? What's happened to our boys? They now no longer race and stand them still to contemplate Christ's handiwork. His clear blood bled in syrups from the lovely wounded trees. Why only bees and blackbird winds and bending grass? No matter. Walk. Walk, look, and sweet recall. I came upon an oak where once, when I was 12, I had climbed up and screamed for Skip to get me down. It was 1,000 miles to Earth. I shut my eyes and yelled. My brother, richly compelled to mirth, gave shouts of laughter and scaled up to rescue me. "What are you doing here?" he said. I did not tell. Rather drop me dead. But I was there to place a note within a squirrel nest, on which I'd written some old secret thing now long forgot. Now in the green ravine of middle years, I stood beneath that tree. Why? Why, I thought, my God, it's not so high. Why did I shriek? Can't be more than 15 feet above. I'll climb it handily. And did. And squatted like an aging ape alone and thanking God that no one saw this ancient man at antics. Clutched grotesquely to the bowl. But then, oh God, what awe. The squirrel's hole and long-lost nest were there. I lay upon the limb a long while, thinking. I drank in all the leaves and clouds, and weathers going by as mindless as the days. What if I thought... But no. Some 40 years beyond, the note I'd put, it's surely stolen off by now. A boy or screech owls pilfered, read, and tattered it. It scattered to the lake like pollen, chestnut leaf, or a smoke of dandelion that breaks along the wind of time. No. I put my hand into the nest. I dug my fingers deep. Nothing. And still more nothing. Yet digging further, I brought forth the note. Like moth wings neatly powdered on themselves and folded close, it had survived. No rains had touched, no sunlight bleached its stuff. It lay upon my palm. I knew its look. Ruled paper from an old Sioux Indian head scribble writing book. What, oh, what had I put there in words so many years ago? I opened it, for now I had to know. I opened it and wept. I clung then to the tree and let the tears flow out down my chin. Dear boy, strange child, who must have known the years and reckoned time and smelled sweet death from flowers in the far churchyard. It was a message of the future. To myself, knowing one day I must arrive, come, seek, return. From the young one to the old. From the me that was small and fresh to the me that was large and no longer new. What did it say that made me weep?
I remember you.
I remember you.
Okay, that's quite lovely. Marshall Jameson starring in, wrote, produced, directed, To Live is to Remember. Now, I will share with you one interesting, I don't want to say argument, let's say conversation that Marshall and I had about that lovely piece of work. And it is this. In my opinion, and I'm very curious what you think, in my opinion, the last line of that dramatic piece, "You remember me," is what it should be. Not "I remember you." Right? Let's go back. Go right to the end here. Think of this dramatically and think about point of view, time travel, who is speaking to whom, and who wrote the note, and who is reading the note.
Day I must arrive, come, seek, return. From the young one to the old. From the me that was small and fresh to the me that was large and no longer new. What did it say that made me weep?
I remember you.
I remember you. How would a young child writing a note to the future self write, "I remember you"? You can't remember something that hasn't happened yet. The right thing that should be in that script is, "You remember me." I'm a young boy thinking, okay, in 50 years, I'm going to come back and visit this tree if I'm lucky, and I'm going to write down, You, the old man, remember me, the young boy. You remember me. That's what should be on the piece of paper. Not I remember you. Doesn't make any sense, logically, theoretically. Well, Marshall Jameson's been on Broadway and produced Pudd'nhead Wilson, The Private History of a Campaign That Failed, Life on the Mississippi, all for PBS. Me? I'm on a live stream with you right now. What do I know? But I'll just let you listen to it one more time just so you can decide. You can let me know who's right. I remember you, you remember me.
It was a message of the future. To myself, knowing one day I must arrive, come, seek, return. From the young one to the old. From the me that was small and fresh to the me that was large and no longer new. What did it say that made me weep?
I remember you.
I remember you.
And see, that's the problem that we all have as dramatists. Marshall, as an old man, is writing this story about his youth. And from the point of view that he is writing it as the old man, I remember you. I'm an old man. I remember you, young child. Okay? It makes sense that way. But it doesn't make logical sense in the life of the story. The life of the story is the young boy writing the note 50 years ago that's still in the old squirrel tree. That's my opinion. You let me know what you think. Here in chat, find me on Twitter at David Boles. Now, we're almost going to wrap this up, but I want to take you a couple of other interesting places first, just so you can have a little bit of research and knowledge on your own, because that's what we're about here. We're about learning and having fun together. So, let's find something fun. I'm just going to show you a couple of places. Now, that thing that you saw, that production by Marshall Jameson, was also shown at his funeral, which I think is very fitting and very interesting, how to remember a life. So here are some of my Boles Blogs articles that Marshall Jameson wrote. He submitted a lot of poetry later in his life when he was retired in Fort Myers, Florida. I wrote a lot about him. We had a wonderful friendship for many years, and I miss him every day. He was a terrific, terrific storyteller and genius. This is the story of the script we wrote together about William Jennings Bryan. Here is another Marshall Jameson poem, story that you can read about on bolesblogs.com. Just go to bolesblogs.com, look for the search box, type in Marshall, M-A-R-S-H-A-L-L, and Jameson, J-A-M-I-S-O-N, and you'll find a lot of his stories. The U.S. Steel Hour Theater Guild, that's Marshall Jameson. English Ovals, he used to smoke those. Then he moved to cigars. Then he moved to regular cigarettes that he would keep in a Mr. Peanut tin can behind his desk at Nebraska ETV. And whenever he wanted a smoke, which was about every 2 minutes, he would have to turn around, stop the meeting, open the Mr. Peanut tin, take out a cigarette, put it in his mouth, put the tin back, put it behind his desk, and light it. I guess that was a way to help him break his smoking habit, and I do believe it worked for him. And we do have some poems by Marshall Jameson. Let's see if I can remember a title of one of them, which is just really stunning. Promise Kept. Let's see what happens with that one. Maybe I should have put Marshall Jameson in there as well. Oh, this is part of the fun of having a live stream. Here we go. he would send me these stories. They were poems that Marshall would write. And this is the one that was just really... It sticks with me to this day because it's very devastating and damning, and it's about him. I'll read it to you. A promise kept. He held her again, as he had when she first told him. Then she told him again, and then he promised to marry her as soon as he was 18, and he did. At 22, after 2 more babies, and before they could conceive again, he volunteered for the Navy, took basic training in California, was assigned to Pacific duty. Finally to Hawaii. And the battleship USS Arizona forever. Now that is not the poem that I thought I was going to read. There's another one he reads about getting a girl pregnant, which was kind of about him. This one, he wrote about a friend. Who died in World War II in Pearl Harbor. On the USS Arizona. So now we'll go to the Human Being Podcast. I'll do another search for Marshall Jameson. And here we go. How We Train Taste, Marshall Jameson. You Remember Me, which I just showed you. I played the audio of that, and I do make the same argument that I made with you that he wrote the ending wrong. You'll see what you think. Poet Pourri. That was Marshall's segment on Go Inside Magazine, which became bolesblogs.com. And this is where I read pieces of poetry that Marshall wrote. We publish them on Go Inside, now Boles Blogs, and then I read them for you live, as I just did, and I start cracking up on this one too. Promise Kept is right here. Marshall Jameson poetry. I read, poem after poem. Promise Kept, Waking Up Dead, Renewal, Starting Over, Forgiveness. So there are like 4 or 5 poems in each of these podcasts. But it's a great way to remember a man and honor the talent. I'm going to take you to one more place. If you want more information on who we are and what we're doing here, as in life in the world, we go to Boles.com, which is my main website. There's my podcast from Apple Podcasts. There we are, live and in person from the Omaha Civic Auditorium. But that's not what I want to show you. I want to show you archives. The William James Bryan script is there, by the way, I believe. If we go to scripts, television. I thought it was there. Scripts, radio, podcast, film. William Film. Yeah, it was a film. William James Bryan, Magnificent Loser. This is the script. Click on it. Read the whole script. Marshall and I wrote it together. But archives is the interesting part of this website. And we're going to look at Founding Authority. Okay, this, Founding Authority. Go down, there's January Sweeney. Up here, Marshall Jameson. This is my tribute page to Marshall Jameson. To Live to Remember, you just saw that. There's a picture of Marshall with the guy who wrote the Twain series. This was Marshall's Big Chief tablet. He wrote all his poems on this. He sent me the cover when he had completed all of the pages. This is what a page from that tablet looked like. More information from Marshall. Lovely letter he wrote to me in '82 when he was at Nebraska ETV, Nebraska Educational Television Network, with the good logo. And some of these letters were a little harsh. You always knew where you stood with Marshall. And I was lucky that more times than not, I stood pretty good with him. Other advice from Marshall. I was writing to him as a young boy. Well, I was 10 blocks away from him, where I lived and where he was working, but we liked to write letters back and forth. And so he would write me letters. And then later on, I kind of moved a block away from where he was working, and I would go see him often, usually at lunchtime, and we'd sit and have a lovely conversation. So that's Marshall Jameson. And I thank you so much for letting me share him with you today. Well, today we talked about skin cancer. We looked at all of our wonderful merchandise that you can purchase at bolesbooks.org. And we played some really bad chess, living up to the name of the segment. And we had a lovely chat with Jana Marie. Tomorrow, more good stuff. We did not today get to the purpose of the law. We will add that tomorrow. And we didn't do a lot of dramatic writing, but perhaps we'll get to that tomorrow too. I thank you for watching. I hope you will follow. Tell your friends. We need to pump this up so we can get things moving on Twitch. And the only way we can get there is if you support us and if you tune in and you tell your friends to join us and get in the chat and have something to say and follow us on Twitch. That's the most important part of it all. But be well, take care of yourself, stay out of the sun. There's nothing good under the sun for you too. Bye. See you tomorrow.